Okay, so happy Tuesday, everyone. I am really pleased to have you here joining us for the Career Planning and Development Team's Handshake Series. This particular event that you're attending is an informational session about WGU's National Black MBA Virtual Club. So we are very glad you're here. We have lots of details and news to share with you. We are a chapter, a virtual chapter of National Black MBA, the national organization. We are proud to be that. We'll go into a little bit of our history here in a moment, but we will also be, Kristen's going to be kind enough to drop some links into the chat. And we're happy to take any questions as we go. So if you have questions, feel free to pop them in. I can't see the chat, but Kristen is going to be kind enough to either interrupt me or we can circle back to those at the end when I stop sharing the PowerPoint. But otherwise, I will be respectful of your time and get us started. So bear with me as I review, kind of have a few notes to reference so I don't leave anything out. But the first thing I want to do is introduce myself. So my name is Tricia Polly Culberth. You see here lovely bio written in the third person. I will tell you I'm a senior manager here. So the team that I support are managers and program mentors in undergraduate management. I have an MBA and an MSML degree from WGU. I was a student here before I worked here. And I've been here for about 9.5 years, having served as a mentor, a manager, and now a senior manager. Before I came to WGU, I worked with Barnes & Noble Education on a number of college campuses around the country, working with students, faculty, and staff. Really loved that, but very happy to be here now. And I do live in the Dallas area with my family. I have 2 dogs who are my office mates, so I just feel like I should preface the fact that at some point they might feel they need to add something, and if they do, please forgive us. We'll try and quiet them down, but I will get us started here and tell you a little bit about our agenda today. So I want to give you an overview of the partnership that WGU has with National Black MBA. Want to share some updates specifically about our club. And I want to provide you with information about the opportunities that you have to interact with both the virtual club here at WGU and the national organization. Those will include joining us as a member, taking advantage of student leadership opportunities, call for guest presenters. We also offer some Partner Connect scholarships, as well as some opportunities for our members to lead and engage, even if they're not in an officer role, as well as some sponsorship for the National Black MBA annual conference. So the first thing I want to share, and one of the reasons I'm really excited that you're here and that you are either a member of National Black MBA or considering joining, is did you know that a whopping 70% of all jobs are obtained through people you know? I know the job market is tight right now, and I know a lot of people who have been looking and they're doing their due diligence and they're checking out LinkedIn and Indeed and Monster and every other available site that is posting openings. But in reality, you have a much better chance of moving forward in the direction that you want to go, to the role that you want to have, if you know somebody or know somebody who knows somebody. That's why networking is so important. And I love WGU, and I think our model and our mission are just really close to my heart, and I'm really committed to what we do. But one of the hardest parts is finding other students to connect with. And this is one of those avenues where you could do that. So networking is very important. The authors of this book, the 20-minute networking meeting, say it's more than important, it's vital. It's the lifeblood of your job search and in the big picture of your career. And I think that's really true, whether you're looking for a new role, a pivot in your career, or you're wanting to move up in the company where you currently are. Who you know and the impression that those folks get to have of their interactions with you can be really vital. So that's why this is all really important. So I get to tell you a little bit more about what is a virtual club. So we are I don't know if we're still unique in National Black MBA, but we certainly were to start. So we established our partnership several years ago. And at that point, we were their only entirely virtual club. They have chapters across the country. Some of them are geographically based. So there's a chapter here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Some of them were based on campuses. I think Ohio State has a very large chapter, for example, and many others. But none of those were entirely virtual until we came along. Some had to get virtual during COVID, as you might imagine. But we are happy to have this outlet. We believe in the mission of this organization. It dovetails very closely with the mission of WGU. And for us, being able to provide this virtual club or virtual chapter provides a comprehensive opportunity for folks to network, interact, and be a voice for change. It's something outside of our classroom, such as it is. It's something outside of connecting with students in the course of study, but being able to attend meetings and engage in other ways with the chapter is a great opportunity. So I would love to tell you a little bit about the partnership and how it came to be. We're very proud of this. So we've just passed the 5-year mark working directly with NBMBAA. It's very hard for me to say that, so I will refer to it generally by the full name. But since that time when we officially became a virtual chapter, we have conducted, I think that number is actually a little higher right now, probably need to update our slides, somewhere in the mid-20s in terms of educational and professional networking webinars that are professional development, skills-based content. Those are open to both our members and guests. We have several more planned this year. It was 8 for 2025. We are closing in on the end of this year already, believe it or not. So we have, I think, a couple more planned for this year. We've also awarded 6 scholarships, the total tuition value of $75,240. We're really proud of that. WGU is flexible, accredited, and affordable. But affordable is a relative term. And anytime that we can award scholarships to deserving students to help them get through school and advance their careers and grow their opportunities without having loans, that's really exciting for us. We have attended several National Black MBA annual conferences, including a couple. Actually, the number is a little higher because we went to 1 or 2 prior to actually becoming a chapter. But we've had the pleasure of staffing a booth at some of these conferences, hosting events, and in the past, we've sponsored students to attend. We are proud to be doing that again this year. So we have, I think, 6 students who will be attending the event in Houston that is coming up in a couple of weeks. So we're really excited for them to be able to go there and engage with employers, attend all of the great events that are hosted during the National Black MBA Annual Conference. It's really a tremendous event. I've been able to go a couple of times and I've really enjoyed it each time. So we are also proud to note that we received recognition as the 2022 Academic Partner of the Year. That was our 2nd full year. And we were able to just continue to partner so closely with National Black MBA that they were kind enough to recognize us out of all of their probably 35 or 40 academic chapters as the Partner of the Year. And we have reached membership of 150 plus WGU students, alumni, faculty, and staff. So we think that should be bigger. I'll be a little bit selfish because we are a very large university and our School of Business is very large. So I think we could easily get bigger than this, but that's just me putting a plug in. So I just want to say how important this partnership is because of the shared values that we have. National Black MBA's mission statement is to lead in the creation of educational, wealth building, and growth opportunities for those historically underrepresented throughout their careers as students, entrepreneurs, and professionals. That ties very closely to WGU's mission, which is creating pathways to opportunity. We believe education can make life better in a way that very little else can. Maybe Powerball, but your odds here are much better. So I say, buy that Powerball ticket, but get this degree and see what doors that can open for you. So I will tell us a little bit more moving ahead, and I see now we do need to update this a little bit, so forgive me for that, but it mentions multiple events to be hosted in 2025. This is one of those. We will have that active presence this year at the annual conference. Very excited to be going to Houston. Houston was actually the first conference we attended when we were exploring the idea of partnering with National Black MBA. I think that was in 2019, maybe. I think that the 2020 was a virtual conference. If we think back to 5 years ago when the whole world was upside down, and now we're coming full circle for an amazing event in Houston. They've got a great agenda planned. There is also on-site support for local chapters in partnership with WGU regions. So one unique thing, and I think I may hit on this a couple times, so forgive me, but I think it's a valuable advantage joining our club. If you become a member of WGU's National Black MBA Virtual Club, you are also a member of the geographic club closest to you. So for example, I'm a member of our club, but I am also a member of the DFW chapter. So in terms of on-ground events, I have the opportunity to attend those. So you can join whichever one is closest to you. And we also have regional teams within WGU who are spread out in 7 areas of the country. And they do some on-site events and support sometimes in partnership with National Black MBA as well. So even though we're virtual, we are flesh and blood humans who occasionally show up in person. So we might show up somewhere near you if you join us and engage with your local chapter at some point. So as I promised, I'm going to hammer the membership thing because I think it's really, really important. So we invite you to become a member. There's a link here. I know Kristen will put it in the chat. We'll make sure that we have it there for you at least once and maybe 2 or 3 times. But the membership options that you can get are student memberships. Undergrad, I believe, is $50 a year right now. Graduate students would pay $99 a year. And professional folks who have finished their schooling and are in a professional role would pay $200 a year. So you can see, especially at that undergrad rate, it's a significant discount to get your foot in the door. And what that gives you is access to all of the national member benefits. So that includes the option to attend the national conference. They do virtual webinars and other events that are hosted by the national organization. The local chapter near you, as I mentioned, there are about 40 around the country, so you would select the one that's closest to you. And then, of course, you're a member of our group. So it's a three-fer. I can't say 3 great professional organizations for $50 or $99 is really a sweet deal. So I absolutely encourage that. So what you would do if you have not joined us yet and you would like to do so, you would register at the link that you see on the screen and that I think is in the chat. You would note your National Black MBA member ID, and then you'll need that for step 3. So that's when you come and visit a WGU specific link and complete the membership form. That allows us to connect your national and chapter membership to WGU, thus giving you the triplets of membership there. We also have a club LinkedIn group. So that is one of the benefits for folks who can join and interact there on LinkedIn. So, okay, we have some other opportunities beyond membership. First, I would like to invite you, if you're interested, to join us as a club event guest presenter. So I mentioned a few slides back that we do typically up to 8 educational and professional development webinars a year. And we love to have guest speakers. We know that our students and our alumni and their colleagues and their networks are well connected and have a wealth of expertise. So if there is something that you feel like you or one of your work colleagues, someone that you know and value could come and present that would provide value to our members and our guests, we would absolutely love to talk to you about that. We don't want to hear ourselves all the time. I am already getting enough of myself in this, so we definitely want to hear other people's voices anytime we can. It broadens perspective and it just brings expertise and it brings insight from people who are in the field. So we've had really great sessions on how to go through virtual recruiting processes, how to prepare yourself to attend an event like the National Black MBA Conference, where you're going to have a chance to interact with multiple employers, how to make sure your LinkedIn presence is up to speed, and lots of other very practical things. There are WGU National Black MBA scholarships. So this is for School of Business students starting their first term in a new program only. So if you are onward into a program here, you may not be able to apply for that now, but if you elect to do another program, we highly encourage you to apply before you start that other program. Or if you know someone who is going to start at WGU, please invite them to consider applying for that scholarship. We want to give this money away. Sometimes it's hard to believe that we struggle to give it away. So please send people to apply. Apply yourself if you are thinking about a second degree, or if you've not yet started your degree program. We do have club leadership roles. So while our webinars and our activities are open to guests, the leadership roles would be for student members only. So that would be a great opportunity to think about whether you want to explore a presidency, a member engagement opportunity. The fun thing about being their first virtual chapter is we kind of are building this plane as we fly it. So we are still figuring out what those roles should be. And if folks have great ideas about how we can engage one another and really make this a valuable experience for all of our members and guests, we are completely open to that feedback. I think the chat messages are popping up, and I just saw a note about starting or started. It is about to start, but I believe that there is a window in the first term in which you can still apply. So we'll see if we can pull that up. And if we don't have it before this is over, we could send it to you. Scholarships are available. I think folks can apply for, I want to say it's 60 days prior to their start date and 30 days after, but I want to be very clear that I need to verify that. So we will see if we can get that information and include it in the email. It's probably also listed in the student handbook. So if you're a current student, you can also go to sh.wgu.edu and search for scholarships in the student handbook. I think there's a detailed explanation there as well. And we have opportunities to increase engagement with chapters and members. So again, we know every person who joins us is also by default a member of their local chapter or their regional chapter. And we think that there could be great opportunities there that we look forward to exploring, to maybe include some folks from, if you're in the Houston chapter and you're a member with us, there may be someone in the Houston chapter who you want to invite to come and speak with us, or who you think would be great professional development content for our members and guests. We also have increased interaction with national membership via inclusion in our events. So we invite national members to our events at least 2 to 3 times a year. So you may join in here and find that in one of our regular webinars that there are folks who are not from WGU. They're from employers. They're members of the national and the other regional organizations. So. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about the Partner Connect Scholarship. This does not get into the detail of the timing, but just so you know, if it does apply to you or if you're recommending someone else to apply for this scholarship. I mentioned earlier we've awarded 6 of these with a total value of $75,000. We're always looking to give more. So these are awarded to students and dispersed over 3 terms. And we will award, this says up to 15 scholarships in the calendar year 2024. I believe that should say 2025, because I know we are in that process now, and constantly reviewing applications as they come in.
And Trisha, I'll put the Partner Connect link in the chat, but I did see it's 90 days before term start or 30 days after.
Okay, perfect. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. There are some links here. I think these are going to be what we will have or will put into the chat. So just like to keep these in here for reference. And I know folks will see this on the recording, so I want to make sure that those are visible. And then I'll tell you a little bit about our team. I think that it's hard for us to believe it's 2025. Apparently, we've lost some time somewhere because we've gone through and updated this, but we've missed a couple of 4s turning into 5s. So, you know what they say, time flies when you're having fun. So here we are. But this is our team. So this is a group of faculty and staff here at WGU who work together to facilitate the events and interact with our student members to create content that's valuable to you. So I'm on there. Tommy Smith is our co-advisor, and a lot of really great folks here, many of whom are instructors, and 2 of whom are managers of program mentoring teams. So all of these folks are within the School of Business and really excited to work with this club. And last but not least, I would say, if you have any questions, of course you can ask them here. I'm going to stop sharing my slides in just a moment so that I can give the chat my full attention. I think you could also, probably can't unmute yourself, but we're a relatively small group. So I think once I stop sharing, Kristen can unmute you if you want to ask a question using your voice. I would love that. But here you see our links for our website and our email address. So that goes to the club advisors. And just thank you. That's all the information I have to convey. But as you can tell, we are very passionate about this opportunity. And we look forward to answering your questions, to inviting you to join us as a member or to attend some of our events as a guest, if you prefer to see what's going on there. So I will stop sharing now so that I can get back to the screen and see things.
Thank you, Trisha. I did go ahead and put all of those links in the chat, and I changed the settings. So you should now be able to unmute yourself if you
Awesome.
did want to come off mute and ask your question. But Mike in the chat asked, what exactly does the club do? And I know that can sometimes be kind of confusing if we think about like, we're
Yeah.
used to like clubs at a brick and mortar university that maybe we've
Mhm.
attended in the past. But for those people who maybe tuned in late, can you share a little bit more about what the club does?
I would love to. I would tell you that primarily, Mike, it's a networking opportunity. So we know that one of the most important things, and I think, Mike, you were here at the beginning, so forgive me if I'm reiterating, but I know we had a couple people join us afterward. Um, that it's so important. They say 70% of jobs are gained because of people that you know. And having that opportunity in a virtual institution can be challenging. I mean, just to be frank, if you ask me, the only downside I could ever point to of WGU would be that we just don't get together physically until graduation, usually. And hopefully all of you will attend or have attended a graduation. So the primary thing that we do is create some space for engagement via professional development and networking webinars, and connecting you to regional and geographically based clubs that are also part of your membership. So you meet folks who are at WGU in this virtual setting, and you meet folks in your area who are also committed to National Black MBA and who may be hiring or who may know people who are hiring within your area. So we hope that the webinars provide great opportunity and some great content to learn new skills or to brush up on skills. But networking is really the primary focus, and we keep growing, so we don't know what's next. There could be more.
Awesome. I know another question that we often get is who can join? Because it's called National Black MBA Association. So who's able to join the club, and what advice do you have for people who are considering?
Thank you. That's a great question. It's something I usually try to mention, and I know it comes up a lot for folks. So let me be very clear. You do not need to be Black. You do not need to be getting an MBA. I guess to be more detailed, you also don't need to be national. But I am a proud member of this organization, and I do not identify as a person of color. The membership is broad ranging, and anyone is welcome who is committed to the mission of National Black MBA and who seeks to network and learn and grow. Most folks are in business, but it's not confined to that. I know that we have folks even here at WGU who are active, engaged in programs in our other schools who really are going to be in a business role, but they're in the School of Health Sciences, or they're in the School of Technology. And you're not limited there. So undergrad, grad, business, non-business, MBA, whatever else, any race, you're welcome to join the club.
Awesome. Open up the floor again. Just a reminder, if you do have questions, you can always come off mute. You can also throw those questions into the chat.
Yep. And I'll just say while we wait for you to come up with just that question you're dying to ask, I am so grateful for you joining us today, taking a little time out of what I'm sure is a busy schedule to attend this. So thank you for that. Thanks, Amy. Appreciate it. Are there any physical meetups in the Dallas area? Yes, Mike, I get emails on pretty much the daily about events that they're hosting. Now, granted, some of those are repetitive emails about single events, but they do a variety of events in the DFW chapter. I think that's the
And
case with most of those regional chapters too.
I
So,
was going to say, I know locally to me, so I'm in the Orlando, Florida area, and our local chapter also has lots of in-person events. So I think that's pretty common. It
yeah,
probably also just depends on how close you are to like a large city.
yeah, it does.
You know, the physical meetups, but if you are in the Dallas area, I'm sure
Mhm.
there's lots of stuff just like there is for us here.
Yeah, and I certainly would never purport to be able to list the 40 chapters they have across the country. But when you think about 40, and that's, that's the very large cities, but that also covers a lot of some of those smaller big cities, if you will. So I know that those are scattered all over the country, and certainly some within a region. If you find that that's the one you join, you may have some opportunity to connect with them at some point. The chapter map, thank you,
I
excellent.
threw the link in there because I know it used to actually pop up when you went to the join page, but
Mhm.
not anymore.
Yeah.
But you can go and look and see if there is a physical chapter close to you,
Mhm.
um, and get
Now,
more, go to their website, get more information about their offerings.
there's a wide swath of the country that is blank here. So if you become a member, then, maybe if you're that kind of person, maybe you can eventually start a chapter somewhere in Colorado, Utah, Wyoming. I know they are very proud of their organization and thrilled to keep growing their organization. And so I think whether that's by adding wonderful, amazing members to the existing chapters or eventually expanding to new chapters, I think either way, they are thrilled to continue to build their influence and their connection.
Awesome. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I will go ahead and wrap up the recording right here.